And Sri Ramakrishna would be perfectly happy with that. And he would be happy with me also. He would, because the idea is not a homogeneous flatness. If you have a specific path and you think of suppose I have a specific path and I think of my path as the best path, what would Sri Ramakrishna say? He would say that's perfectly all right. You go ahead on your path. You're even allowed to think of your path as the best path, but only for yourself. Don't think it's for everybody else. Yeah. So I don't think that everybody has to be a non-dualist. I don't even think that non-dualism gives you the highest realization. From my perspective, yes. But if you don't accept that, it's perfectly all right. Would I accept somebody else who's a dualist and who has a devotional bent of mind and is he genuinely spiritual? Certainly. Could be far more spiritual than I am. As Vivekananda said, an ounce of practice is worth 20 tons of tall talk. So the other person could be far more spiritual than I am and could just be, have a very simple devotional practice. No metaphysics, no logic, none of that. Huh? Yes. Oh, so you have a specific question, the Kaivalya of yoga or Sankhya and the Aham Brahmasmi of Advaita Vedanta. So that's a very, she wants to know the distinction between that. That's very clear. Vivekananda has also mentioned it a number of times. So Sankhya, from an Advaitic perspective, is halfway house. See, Sankhya is immediately appealing, directly, without any kind of scriptural support or anything. It's if you think logically, immediately you see there are two things. You are there and the world is there. That's obvious to everybody. And Sankhya says, if you analyze yourself, a lot of the world is mixed up in your own idea of yourself. The body is actually part of the world. It's not part of you. The mind is part of the world. It's not part of you. When you put the body and the mind where they belong in Prakriti and nature, clearly the body is a product of nature. Even the mind is a product of nature. When you put that, what remains, that witness consciousness, that Sakshi, what the Sankhyans call Purusha, is the remnant, that is you. That's your real nature. And nothing else. Stop there. So this clear division between Prakriti and Purusha, that sets you free. Now, does this work? Surely it does. It's a very ancient, Swami Vivekananda said Kapila was the first philosopher of the human race. One of the most ancient things. You find it clearly in the Upanishads, in Bhagavad Gita, it's there. But it still begs the question, what is the relationship between you and Prakriti? What is the relationship between you and everybody else? So Sankhya would say, you're all different. You are separate. Everybody else is separate Purusha. Everybody has separate consciousness. And Prakriti is a separate material nature. It exists independently, cooperating with you, but independently of you. Advaita Vedanta is not satisfied with that. Because every dualism, there are many reasons why. For example, I'll give you Swami Vivekananda's reason. Sankhya says, you are infinite consciousness. But so is this person, that person, all the billions of sentient beings are billions of infinite consciousnesses. Vivekananda says, is there one consciousness or billions of consciousnesses? Clearly billions of minds and bodies. Does that make consciousness in billions? So there's a long debate between Advaita Vedanta and Sankhya, whether consciousness is one or many. Advaita comes down on the side of one consciousness. Sankhya says many consciousnesses. And think about the arguments there. Advaita also would say that if you look at the Upanishads, they seem to clearly say that there is one reality ultimately. No, Yoga Sutra says many consciousnesses. No. Think about it. Patanjali Yoga. It does not say one consciousness. Bahupurusha Vada.
Once you achieve Kaivalya, you have understood what is Purusha and Prakriti and how they come together.
How many Purushas are there? That's the question.
Sankhya, Nirishwara Sankhya did say there are many Purushas, but Seshwara Sankhya.
These are the divisions which comes later, yes. Yeah. But then what about Prakriti? Even Seshwara Sankhya would say Prakriti is not one with Purusha. No. Yeah. So those arguments are there. So that's why Advaita Vedanta. And you can see why oneness, Vivekananda, when he was asked, what is it that you teach? He said that my goal is to preach unto humanity their inner divinity and the oneness of all existence. So that you are pure consciousness. Sankhya would agree with that. Yoga would agree with that. But the oneness of all existence, Sankhya and Yoga will not agree. They are fundamentally dualistic philosophies. Material and spiritual, clearly different.